Hey, welcome to Sports and Politics with T. I'm your host, Tanya. Tonight we have made it back to Monday, guys. Listen, I hope everybody's enjoying their week so far. We are already getting into week number 3 for August. And listen, guys, we have a show tonight. We're going to talk about two meetings that took place over the weekend. Actually, one happened on Saturday, and then today, President Trump went with Zelensky again. And of course, there was some controversy with him just a couple months ago when they got into it. But anyway, guys, we're going to cover those two meetings. And we're also going to talk about Donald Trump's health scare because there's a lot of people that is saying that after the Putin meeting on Saturday, which was in Alaska, that he didn't look too good and that something happened on the stage where he was actually speaking. So we are going to take a look at that to see exactly what happened. But anyway, guys, again, I hope everybody is doing good. We are actually what's already the 18th of August. Back to school again is starting probably in another week or two. And guess what? 2 weeks from today will be Labor Day, guys. I'm telling you, this year is moving right on out. All right. So anyway, we also wanted to say on Saturday we had a great time on Saturday with the relationship entertainment sector. Oh, it was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We're going to continue to keep doing that on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Definitely check us out. We are talking about things that are not related to politics, nothing related to world news. We're just dealing with just everyday topics. We're dating, relationships, and regular entertainment news. Okay. So, yes, definitely check us out on Saturday at 8 o'clock. We're going to continue to keep bringing that coverage. And on Tuesdays, we are doing the sports where we're going to be posting the scores. And Thursdays, we're going to be doing highlights of the NFL games. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to do the sports events as well. So we're definitely going to keep going all through. And we're going to be busy coming up into the fall, guys. We are already wide open. All right. Anyway, guys, and also as you can see, I got my equipment in, so I'm hoping that this sound quality is a lot better than before. And it actually, like I said, on Saturday it was supposed to be here probably on August the 4th when we were starting the season for second season. But of course, there was always a delay and everything. So, but I am patient. I'm glad it's in now, and now we can continue on, guys. So let's go ahead and give it up for this episode. All right. So let's go ahead and get going. This is where he was talking to Zelensky on today, and let's just break this video down. Once it's over and it's complete, I'll let you know my 2 cents as far as how I felt this meeting went.
Thanks so much. So first of all, we have possibility now to buy weapons from the United States. We're thankful for this program and this opportunity. We're thankful for Europe. They pay for this. And through NATO program, for example, Pearl and etc., we have some programs where we can have some money to finance this. And this is a part, I think, it's not a part for the war and to defend us. It also will be a part for security guarantees, to strengthen our army, to rearm Ukrainian army. This is very, very important. And it depends how much money we need to rearm. For example, the question of air defense, we spoke about it with President Trump, and I'm happy that we have now bilateral decisions and we work on it with production, American production. Nobody in Europe has so many air defense like Patriots, for example. We need it very much, and this is also about defending.
I think the good news, we make the best military equipment in the world by far. You mentioned the Patriots. How good are they?
Yeah, systems.
We have systems, they're literally 100% foolproof, and it's really like shooting two bullets, two bullets hitting each other in the air in a space like this. The chances, 100%. It's 99 to 100%. So we sell the equipment to NATO. And NATO does what, I don't know what the arrangement is that you have with, but I know that they want you to have that equipment. And we're getting the best equipment in the world, but they pay us for the equipment Under Biden, it was just crazy what was going on. I believe the number is over 300. I think it could be $350 billion worth of equipment and money and everything else. And we've made more progress in settling this war in the last 2 months than they made in 4 years. This should have been settled a long time ago, but it should have never happened. Yeah, please.
Real quickly, you pushed out on social media.
All right, Brian, go first.
You pushed out on social media about doing away with mail-in ballots and potentially electronic voting machines. Can you expand on that and how important
Well,
that is?
that's a very off topic, just really quickly. Mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt. And you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses them because of what's happened. Massive fraud all over the place. The other thing we want change are the machines. For all of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else. We would get secure elections. We'd get much faster results. The machines, I mean, they say we're going to have the results in 2 weeks. With paper ballots, you have the results that night. Most people, but most people, many countries use paper ballots. It's the most secure form. So between paper ballots, very, very important, paper ballots, and I think maybe even more important, the mail-in voting. We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. If you have mail-in vote, even Jimmy Carter with this commission, they set it up. He said the one thing about mail-in voting, you will never have an honest election if you have mail-in. And it's time that the Republicans get tough and stop it because the Democrats want it. It's the only way they can get elected. Because with men and women's sports and with transgender for everybody and open borders and all of the horrible things, and now the new thing is they love crime. They're fighting me on the fact that I've made Washington, D.C. safe. We're not going to get mugged, beaten up, or killed.
Okay, let me interject for just a second. Do you see how, this is supposed to be about Zelensky, okay? And now we're talking about mail-in ballots, okay? Do you see how he's not focused? Now, even though the gentleman just asked a question about the mail-in ballots, as the president, you got to get back on topic, okay? Answer it briefly, and then let's get back to Zelensky meeting, okay? He's going on a tangent talking about, mail-in ballots. I mean, what? We're talking about war stuff right now, okay? But do you see how he can be off track just like that? Instead of bringing it back home to what we were talking about, he's talking about some other thing. And then he's trying to say that, again, Washington, D.C. is like a war zone. And you just saw on last Monday, the mayor, who's a black woman, of course, just stated last Monday that they are actually at an all-time 30-year low when it comes to crime. So, again, the exaggeration is ridiculous, okay? But, of course, they're going to want to make their party look really, really good. And again, lying in the process. So, but I just wanted to interject that because, again, he's not on topic and he's going to stay on that topic as long as possible. Let's just keep going.
All the people you've been watching get so badly hurt. I'm glad, I hate to take your time with this, but I'm glad you asked me that question. We're going to stop mail-in ballots because it's corrupt. When you go to a voting booth and you do it the right way, and you go to a state that runs it properly, you go in, they even ask me, for my license plate, for identity. I said, I don't know if I have it. They said, sir, you have to have it. I was very impressed, actually. But it's very hard to cheat with mail-in voting. As you know what happens in California, it's so corrupt, where some people get 5, 6, 7 ballots delivered to them. Now, we got to stop mail-in voting, and the Republicans have to lead the charge. The Democrats want it because they have horrible policy. If you have mail-in voting, you're not going to have many Democrats get elected. That's bigger than anything having to do with redistricting, believe me. And the Republicans have to get smart. We're not going to have a country. I said for a long time at rallies,
This is the quickest way to clear out stuck poop.
The number one food.
you need borders and you need free and fair elections. Those two things. Otherwise, you don't have. We have strong borders now. In 90 days, Mr. President, we didn't have 1, 0, 0, and 3 months. Not one person came in illegally into our country. In fact, even I find that hard to believe, but it's run by a little bit of a liberal group that put out the numbers, so I guess it's, but 0, 0, and 0. You go back a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 millions of people poured into our country. It was terrible. Thank you very much.
What security guarantees do you need from President Trump to be able to make a deal? Is it American troops, intelligence, equipment? What is it?
Everything. Really, it includes two parts. First, strong Ukrainian army. That's what I began to discuss with your colleagues. And it's a lot about weapon and then people and training missions and intelligence. And second, we will discuss with our partners. It depends on the big countries, on the United States, on a lot of our friends.
And Mr. President, are you willing to commit American troops to that NATO-like protection in order to get President Zelensky to a deal today?
Well, I don't know if you define it that way, but NATO-like, I mean, we have people waiting in another room right now. They're all here from Europe, biggest people in Europe, and they want to give protection. They feel very strongly about it, and we'll help them out with it. I think it's very important. I think it's very important to get the deal done.
You've been involved with the peacekeeping in Ukraine since your first day in the administration. What would you say to the Ukrainian people right now who are suffering under the Russian attacks and hoping that the American people will stand with them?
Well, I know Ukrainian people. I've known many over the years. They're great people. They're smart. They're energetic. They love their country. I mean, they love their country, and we want to get this war ended. That's all I can do. I love the Ukrainian people, but I love all people. I love the Russian people. I love them all. I want to get the war stopped. Very important.
Mr. President, was there any aspect of your discussion with Vladimir Putin that left you disappointed?
Look, we just spoke to, I was just telling the president, I just spoke to President Putin indirectly, and we're going to have a phone call right after these meetings today. And we may or may not have a trilat. If we don't have a trilat, then the fighting continues. And if we do, we have a good chance. I think if we have a trilat, there's a good chance of maybe ending it. But he's expecting my call when we're finished with this meeting. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right, so you see, guys, how the media was all over Donald Trump. And, you know, this is the thing. You see how when it comes to the war issues, he really didn't want to respond but so long. But when it comes to off the subject stuff like ballots and voting and stuff like that, he can talk for a whole 30, 40 minutes on stuff like that, you know. And as you can see, he's still blaming the Biden administration. Listen, mail-in ballots is everywhere, not just the Democrat states, but it's in the Republican states too. And you still can have fraud even if you have just the machines, you know, because sometimes the machines get stuck or they're not lined up with the right candidate. And sometimes you'll hit the wrong button thinking you're pushing your candidate and you're pushing for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So nothing is 100%, you know. So, but you see, Zelensky is there. He's needing more weapons to fight the war. Of course, they want this peace deal, but Putin is not having it, is the way it sounds to me. So we're going to look at what Putin talked about on Saturday, and then we're going to analyze that particular meeting once this is over.
Donald Trump looked pathetic next to Vladimir Putin today. He looked weak. He looked ready to capitulate, and he did right away. He rolled out the red carpet for a war criminal only to get rolled over in a humiliating fashion. And now Donald Trump has got some excuses for why, including a health scandal that became apparent as a tired Donald Trump was destroyed in this fake peace summit. We're going to get into it all. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video. And if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get into the health scandal that is breaking out amid Donald Trump's failure of a meeting with Putin. I want to start with the expert analysis of just how badly he got rolled over by Nicole Wallace right here.
Nicole Wallace, no details, no agreement. What then was the point of this meeting?
Well, I think the press conference underscored something that Ambassador McFall and Ali Velshi and I have been talking about since 4 p.m. Eastern. I mean, this was, for Trump, a television production that may have been rooted in different motives, but one of them was likely to change the topic of news coverage. It succeeded in that. We've all been covering this all day, for better or for worse. But clearly, Trump was not in control of anything. I mean, Putin was the alpha all day long, from Trump holding on his plane and waiting for him like a, middle schooler waiting for their first date, the red carpet that rolled out and the choreography. I mean, I went to dozens of foreign trips with the president. It is very rare to have a red carpet and then an ascent to a platform and then a walk down the stairs into a limo together. I won't say it's never happened, but it's exceedingly rare to the point that I can't think of it ever happening before. And then,
Okay, so let's stop right there. Do you see the red carpet that's rolled out for Putin? Now, this man him and his army is killing people every day. You remember back in February or March when when Zelensky met with him a couple months ago and they talked about having a peace agreement. Well, you see how he was so agitated with Zelensky, but do you see how his body language is with Putin? It's almost like he likes Putin. I mean, that's just my opinion. And I've always said that, even in his first term, it just seems like they're the best of friends, even though technically Russia is like enemy, to the United States. And so you see, he's rolling out the red carpet on a foreign dictator. Okay. So again, let's take notice. We're going to keep it going and let's just watch the body language through this whole interaction.
Donald Trump, don't stand between Donald Trump and a scrum of reporters asking questions if you don't want to be stampeded. There's no way it was Donald Trump's decision or request to take no questions. He'd be talking until 9 p.m. Eastern if he'd been in control of anything that happened today.
It began.
This was really just a photo op for Donald Trump. But the photo op was also for Vladimir Putin. Now, who did it mean more for? On one hand, Donald Trump gets to pretend that he's after peace while getting nothing for the United States and nothing for Ukraine. And Putin gets to pretend like he's not a war criminal. He gets to now bring Trump to Russia for their next meeting. He gets to stall, delay, boost morale, and give a reason for other European leaders to doubt the efficacy of the United States' approach and commitment to Ukraine. Putin steamrolled Trump once again, and it was the reason he sounded so tired, looked so sloppy. He didn't even want to take questions in the press conference, except for one person. Of course, Sean Hannity at the Fox propaganda outlet. And still in that interview, he didn't make himself look great.
Not sure if you saw the news, but Fox News is claiming President Trump is declining in the polls. President Trump responded.
And I was very happy to hear him say, if I was president, that war would have never happened. Mr. President, that was my next question. He said at the joint press conference that and you have said this many, many times, and he confirmed for the world today, that if you were president, this wouldn't have happened. Did any of the specifics come up as to why he said that?
It did. It doesn't matter at this point, but that this war should never have happened. A lot of wars should never have happened. There was stupid things go down and the wrong people are talking, but Biden was a terrible president in so many ways.
So after getting steamrolled by Putin, Donald Trump decides he's gonna roll over once again. And what, Putin gets seconds? Like he's gonna praise him? He's gonna say how great he is, what a smart guy he is, how tough a negotiator he is. When Donald Trump is sending out his idiotic tariff letters, is he ever talking about how tough the negotiators are on the other end? No. He's always saying how sad they're going to be, how upsetting it is, how America is finally getting its get back. But not with Putin, not in ending a war. You just talk about how easily you'll fold. Really, Trump just did this because he wanted Putin to say that he wouldn't have started the war if Trump was still president in 2022. An easy thing for Putin to say. And it's meaningless. It does nothing. It just shows how weak Trump is, that is what he is so desperate for. And his weakness was also showed off in his little health scandal going on right here. Trump 79 puts cankles on full display as he meets Putin. Donald Trump's swollen ankles have made an appearance for the first time in weeks during his high-stakes summit with Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin, prompting renewed questions about his health. After greeting Putin in Alaska on Friday and giving him the red carpet treatment, the two leaders sat down for their first face-to-face meeting in years as the American president sought to find an end to the war in Ukraine. Not really, he just wanted a photo. But photos taken at the summit show Trump's ankles looking somewhat enlarged again, weeks after the White House revealed that he had been diagnosed with a chronic condition.
Yeah, let me interject for just a second. I've been hearing about that for like the last couple of months now, that he has something, I don't know if it's a catheter or something that's attached to him inside his pants leg. I'm not quite sure if that's what it is. I mean, that's allegedly, but he does have some problems with circulation. I mean, he is, getting up in age, and that, so we understand that he's, almost 80, so I think it'd be 80 next year to be exact. So, but at the same time, his complexion, if you look at his skin, if you look at just how he looks, I mean, just in the last, I'm gonna say 7-8 months, he looked like he's really aged like hard to me. And every president is gonna age, but it just seems like from just January of this year to now, and it's only been 8 months, that he doesn't look healthy to me. I mean, that's just my opinion. So, that's something that we really may have to take a close look at. Because remember, when Biden was going through his little health scare, everybody was jumping on the bandwagon. Oh, he's not this and he's not that. But you see here, he's not looking too good either. So, but let's keep listening in on this, and then we'll break this video down once it's over.
DVI is a common condition in people over the age of 70 in which the veins of a person's body have trouble returning blood to the heart. While the condition isn't life-threatening, that's disappointing, doctors say it gets riskier with age and can be exacerbated by a poor diet of mostly McDonald's. Trump's health was subject to scrutiny in the days leading up to the summit, with reporters asking White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt for an update earlier this week. Look, you see the president every day, she told reporters Tuesday. He's moving, he's working, he's continuing. There have been no adjustments made to his lifestyle. But on Friday, a spokeswoman declined to answer questions about the president's health in view of the latest images, other than to refer the Daily Beast to Leavitt's earlier comments. The White House was also non-committal when CBS reporter Ed O'Keefe asked on Tuesday if Trump's White House physician could be made available to answer questions about the president's health.
Putin achieved most of what he wanted. Trump achieved very little. And I will say one other thing. I thought Trump looked very tired up there. I mean, very tired. Not disappointed, tired. And we'll have to reflect on what that means.
Vladimir Putin said it.
So Donald Trump's summit with Putin was so bad, was so embarrassing, went so poorly that it has reignited a scandal around his swollen ankles and his worsening health. Now, Republicans don't even try to tell me that is some huge win, that is some big victory for Donald Trump, that a couple of photos and Putin telling him lies to make him feel better as he bats his eyelashes is some America First victory. It's just not the case. No one can tell me what we got out of this. All it was stroking Donald Trump's ego for no purpose at all, because he's been sad that he misses his buddy Jeffrey Epstein and everybody's talking about it.
Oh, wow. That's oh my God, he talking about Epstein. Oh, that's that's a low blow, guys. I wasn't expecting him to say it. You know what? That could be very well it. This might be a distraction, from to get away from everything else, because there's a lot of stuff that don't sound right. A lot of stuff that we keep saying, what's taking so long with all this evidence coming out? We still like to see it any day now, But anyway, guys, It just wasn't a good meeting. He's rolling out the red carpet. They're shaking hands like they're buddies. And you heard what he said with Zelensky. I love the Russian people and I love the Ukrainian people, and Russia has always been not for the United States. So that's what I'm saying. It's like he's sucking up to him or something. I don't know, but we're gonna have to keep a close eye on this because that's not good for the American president to say that to a foreign leader, and that country hates. When I say hates, Russia hates the United States. Okay, so. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to cover these two meetings for tonight because I felt like, okay, he's meeting both in the same weekend, and within a 2-day radius. And so these two are fighting each other. Putin, who's in Ukraine, and Putin, who's in Russia, and Zelensky, who's in Ukraine. They're both fighting each other as we speak. Some want peace. Some wants to keep fighting, but we'll see. I mean, this war has been going on for about 7-8 months now, and they still haven't came to an agreement yet. So anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and shut it down for tonight. And I hope you enjoyed this content. Let's give it up for tonight. Yes. And also tomorrow, again, the NFL, we are posting the scores on the shorts. Keep checking us out on the updates for all last week's games. And we're going to do some live coverage as well on these football games too, because the preseason has already begun. And we're going to start getting that coverage in for all my sports fans. All right, guys. Well, I will be back on Thursday at 8 o'clock. And if you enjoyed this content, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you can, please hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss any episodes every time I come on to YouTube. All right. Again, 8 o'clock. Check us out. Sports and Politics with T. And again, check us out on tomorrow for all the highlights as far as the sports and the scores. Okay. All right. Well, everybody have a great rest of your week. And I will see y'all on Thursday at 8 o'clock. Take care. Bye-bye.